everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Howling Hour. Hope everybody had a fantastic holiday that recently happened. Let us know what goodies you ate on Thanksgiving. If you did, what you did on Thanksgiving, drop that in the comments. We're running light today. Marcus is giving some lectures to film students, and Danny is on set working on his screen fan film. So those two guys will not be on the show tonight. But it's being held down by the three of us. And we got Lukas, Zoink himself, over with our friendly neighborhood Noah. How's it going, guys?
Pretty slackstastic.
So excited for this street.
We're drinking Mountain Dew.
All right, so we got Oracle with us, 684, and he is actually talking about Scream Mania is off the charts. It's getting crazy with all the news, theories, and rumors, and I'm enjoying every second of it. Yes, there is tons of theories out there, and we're going to talk about one that has been popping up on some of the videos that I've posted recently on the channel. Lots of comments on what if Stu is actually the hero in Scream 7. We're going to dive into that in a couple of minutes because there's some topics that we'll cover, we'll dive into, and maybe we'll speed through them. King Matthew is with us. How's it going, King Matthew? Thanks for joining us. He just got home from seeing FNAF 2, and he had some fun time with it. So let's segue there. I love how we always have somebody that can segue.
We're segueing yet again, guys.
Yep. So, boys, you guys seeing Five Nights at Freddy 2. What was your thoughts on it?
Would you like to go first?
That good, huh?
Fine. It was fine.
It was fine.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. A lot of people are saying that it was either better or worse than the first one. I don't know. I think it was right there with the first one. The first one wasn't super awesome. It's, it's a very simplified form of Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, anybody who like follows the lore of the games or whatever will tell you that it's like really weird. The second one specifically, there's a strange plot line in the second one that I can't rationalize in my head.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't talk about it because of spoilery stuff.
Yeah.
Although, I'm going to see it again on Tuesday, so we're gonna see how that changes. So
the one thing that we can mention that's not a spoiler is that the amount of times that you see the puppet or the marionette in the trailer is the same amount of times that you see it in the movie, and that is that is so stupid. The main animatronic in this movie and is barely in it.
Yep. Look, I'll give you a quick breakdown of it. So, Five Nights at Freddy 2, not being a gamer or having played the game more than just once, playing the VR experience once, I liked the first one. I did. I really liked the first one. I thought it was set up really well. There's lots of problems with the second one. Josh Hutcherson takes a seat back. His character is kind of like just there. We have a lot of
They literally put him in a room for like half of the third act of this movie, and he doesn't do anything.
Yep. Skeet Ulrich seems like his part is just thrown in there. Like it was like, oh, last minute, let's just add this piece in there. There's so many different plot holes in this. Like I talked about the review on nERDbox is like you have Abby, who goes to school on the bus. It's like a year or 2 years later, and she's talking about what happened to the people around her, like it's her first day in school. I was like, wait a minute, why all of a sudden is she? Oh, that's right. It's a meta commentary to catch us all up on the things that happened in the first one, which makes absolute no sense in reality that she would be going over all these things. And we kind of talked about this when we were going through the Predator franchise ranking with having stupid stuff like this in there, where we get to the high school or the school that she's in, and we have Mr. Berg as Newman, and he hates Abby. Like for absolute no reason, he hates her. And we have her friend say, "Oh yeah, well he's like that with everybody." Wouldn't she know it's not the first day of school? Why is he saying, "Oh yeah"?
If he was like
is it the
that
first day
with
of school then? Because it is
everybody,
a new house.
if he was like that with everybody, not a single child in that school would have a science fair project.
Yes.
That is how that would be. Not gonna try and spoil anything, but
Don't worry. He just hates kids.
He just hates children. Well, specifically Abby, but specifically Abby.
And
who you could tell who they paid, who they wanted the most in as far as like the animatronic voice actors, like who was the most important voice actor, because out of all 3 animatronics that they're like, oh yeah, we got MatPat, one of the most popular YouTubers to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know who played Freddy, and then you have Megan Fox, and then Megan Fox gets the most animatronic voice acting screen time. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, this is probably the best voice acting role that Megan Fox has done in a long time. And that has a lot to say about Megan Fox's voice acting capabilities.
Has she done voice acting?
Yes.
I don't know.
Mortal Kombat 1. She played Nicole, one of my favorite characters in the Mortal Kombat universe. And fucking.
So we got CG. First one was okay, but if you do not know the lore or the game, you are kind of lost. And the second one didn't learn. And Matthew Lillard was in it for how long? Yeah, like what, 2 minutes maybe?
It's the same thing with the first one.
He's in it less. He's in it less. Like if you're going to see it from Matthew Lillard,
he's in it less than his own son.
Yep. Yeah. That's not a spoiler, right? I don't think that's really a spoiler.
No,
he's not even in the trailer.
It's kind of a spoiler. They do a big like name droppy thing for it, so I guess it's a spoiler. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Good job.
Yep. 420 Slayer saying haven't seen the Five Nights at Freddy movies, probably won't. Yeah, probably watch Willy's Wonderland. Willy's Wonderland was very good.
Willy's Wonderland is
a lot more fun.
Yeah, Willy's Wonderland is a lot more fun. If you're a fan of the franchise,
scenes in this movie that make me feel like they watched Willy's Wonderland after making the first one. They're like, we should put some of that in there.
Yeah, and you know what? This movie kind of feels like a lot of people saying if you're a fan of the games, it's really made for them. But again, it's the casual fans that you want to go after. Now, the movie is opened up with $109 million worldwide and on a $30 million budget, so you know we're definitely getting part 3. But like the staying power is what I'm wondering. It's like, does this have true staying power in the horror genre? Right? Is this going to be something people talk about many years from now?
So. For this movie in like specifically, unfortunately, I think it does. The audience reaction. We were in a full theater, by the way.
Yeah,
full theater at Regal.
Doesn't happen.
Wow.
Yep.
But and like the audience reaction to a lot of the bits in this movie, I have a feeling, unfortunately, means that this is going to be received very well.
I will say I haven't heard an active audience in a theater in a while either. But then again, we typically go to an empty theater.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean. Again, it's not a bad movie. It's fine. It's just not awesome.
In order for these movies to die out, Five Nights at Freddy's as a whole would have to die out, and that's not going to happen.
Yep.
So at least not for a very long time.
With all the shitty fan fiction of Five Nights at Freddy's that's out there that gets enough attention, I think this will be fine.
Yep. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, so like CG, I think was with a lot of us. Thank you, Blumhouse. How did you drop the ball once again? That was my first thoughts. Is like Blumhouse fucked up another one. This is Halloween Kills all over again. But it's better than Halloween Kills, thanks God. But let's see where it goes.
I'm worried about the Backrooms, dude. Me fucking too. But Backrooms is in A24, isn't it?
Yes,
I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have to worry about Blumhouse for that one unless they're working together for it.
And also, Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is going to have more Matthew Lillard in it. If you haven't played the game, spoiler.
Yes,
it's about him, in a sense.
We could talk about the games if you want. If you want to know more about the games, gang, we can do that.
Yeah, definitely drop that in the chat if you want to talk about that. But speaking of A24 and the Backrooms, there's the Iron Lung, right? So the Iron Lung trailer dropped. Go ahead.
We just watched it for the first time. Me
and yes. Yeah, so the Iron Lung, I guess, is it based off a video game?
It's based off of an independent video game, yes.
A very old indie video game now.
Yeah, it's nothing like it's a very small concept. Like you're in what is called an Iron Lung. It's just a small submarine.
I think it's like a 3-hour game, really.
Yeah, about reality. That. It's nothing big. You're in an ocean made of blood, and I think you're like basically like you're an underwater miner basically, and you get killed by a fish.
Well, so how they explained it in the synopsis that Dan read,
that
Dave.
I'm Dirty Dan.
That Dave read. It's there's been a apocalypse on Earth that's made it no longer sustainable. So now people are searching the stars for different planets. They find a planet that's covered in a blood ocean, so they send a convict down in a little rinky-dink submarine, and the convict finds a giant fucking fish. That subsequently, at the end of the game, it is left for you to think that they ate him. So
you definitely don't want to do the volume on Markiplier. You get the copyright strike.
Yeah. It looks like that it's it's inspired by Alien. So we have another film that is sort of apocalyptic. That's where it takes place. But looking at some of the scenes in this here, it does look like there's some CGI, AI type of stuff going on in here. I don't know what you guys think.
I don't know about AI. I can definitely see the CGI part. The blood that I'm seeing is definitely a bunch of CGI.
Because it's a low budget film, so I would imagine that they're taking as many shortcuts as they want with this here. Do I see anything with a budget here? Let me mark down. So I don't know. It's got a small release that's out there, so you'll see it in smaller theaters, possibly not in the bigger chains with this one. But yeah, right. I guess we'll see what happens with that one.
I hope it does well. I mean, hopefully it's.
I'm gonna go see it. It's still interesting at the end of the day. Mark makes some creative stuff, and
I don't see usually I wouldn't assume Markiplier would attach his name to anything that he would consider to be like poor product. So
well, this is his product.
So I don't think it'll be awful. Do I think it's going to be fantastic? It's a YouTube or movie. I don't know.
Well, let's see. So Shelby Oaks, Iron Lung, all these YouTubers might be the end of their movies made with YouTubers. I don't know, because you got to remember, Talk to Me is a that's a YouTuber film. So
that's fair.
And don't say that CG, because we're trying to do that too, right? So hopefully we'll deliver a lot better than that.
So there's a big difference between YouTuber movies and movies made by YouTubers. If it's a YouTuber movie, you can tell. If it's a movie made by a YouTuber, it has some chance. It has a chance.
There's a film out there. It's in my bottom 3, maybe bottom 5 for the entire year. It's House on Eden. It's also features YouTubers in it, and it was inspired by YouTubers. And then the movie's just god awful because everything is telegraphed in it. So it's just like, oh, it's one of the worst movies.
It's like that Vine movie that they made, the airplane movie. Awful.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so that's that one. We're breezing along some of our stuff here, so we can start talking about Stu Macher and this theory that's come up in some of our comments. So, Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. That trailer also dropped this week. Now, just to set this up for everybody, like Ready or Not, fantastic film. I loved it.
It's a great movie.
It's by Radio Silence, who did Scream 5 and 6, and I didn't know how they were going to be able to pull off a sequel. So when they announced the sequel, I was like,
when did Ready or Not come out again?
Let's see. Ready or Not.
That's a great question.
Because I remember it being like
it's been a while.
2019.
Yeah. This movie has been cooking for a while, and they're going right from where they left off too, which is honestly, I think awesome. I think that's cool as fuck.
Yeah, so I'm right there with you too. So I thought this would be a sellout movie that could possibly hurt the first one, but the trailer for it is like.
It looks interesting.
The fact it just they could have so easily just gone like a time skip route and been like, oh, she's now living, she's now just gonna get herself into a new situation or whatever. But no, it's just like right off the gate again. They're carrying right where they left off in the last one. So it's like it's got that you can now watch them in succession without being confused between each film.
I like that she's gonna have help in this one. I like that it's not gonna be like she's by herself. Yeah, as well, because we get more protagonists.
I did think that her sister was played by Sabrina Carpenter when I first saw it.
It's the hairstyle, I think.
I think it's the very light blonde bangs, but no, it's Cassie from Ant-Man Quantumania.
Yeah, she was also in the movie Freaky. She was in Abigail. So
and Frankenstein. What's it? Lisa Frankenstein. She was also in.
That's right. And that's a good movie
if you guys want to watch.
an emerging little scream queen there that hasn't really gotten the recognition. But Samara Weaving was like that in the beginning too. So King Matthew I haven't seen the first Ready or Not, so I'll probably have to check it out, that one, before the sequel, because the trailer for the second one looks awesome. The first movie is very good. You won't be disappointed with the first Ready or Not. And I'll tell you this, man, just go on a Samara Weaving horror movie marathon, because you got Babysitter 2, Ready or Not, and Mayhem. 4 amazing movies, and I think she just had
she's a good like screamer too. If anybody likes like I know like some people at like haunted attractions, they go into it for like to be a screamer or whatever, to scream at people really well or whatever. She's got a good scream.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just thought that was, I don't know. I thought that was cool. She's
a scream queen.
Yep. She is in another film that came out this year too. Let me see.
Mayhem's one with Steven Yeun, right?
Yes, that is with Steven Yeun. Yep, definitely. But she's also in the movie Borderline with Jack Nicholson's son. That's another good one that just came out this year too. So awesome films. Nothing that she does is bad. Yeah.
And when does this come out?
Ready or Not 2. I think that is a next year movie. Let's see.
Ready or Not 2. Here I come.
April 10th.
Okay.
April 10th. Let's see what CG's got here. I like how they used her sister to get back in the action. Yep. It's a great way to get her back. And it's like, yeah, I'm not playing this game. And then hood comes off and there's her sister. And it's like, all right, back into it. So when I seen images like stills from behind the scenes, it's like, oh, maybe they're gonna kill her off in the beginning and then pass the torch to. But no, it looks like it's gonna be a tag team in this one. So
I'm happy that they're doing that. I prefer that.
Let's see here. So I don't watch The Boys. Guys, what do you guys think about The Boys show that just dropped?
It doesn't allude to a lot. I mean, we do also already get to see though that in this trailer, the reunion of Sam and Dean Winchester, because they're both it looks like they're both in the same shot at one point, because they're playing different characters in this movie. I'm a little confused because where season 4 ends off, they're not really on like. Billy Butcher's being a bit of a Billy bitch. He
the way that season 4 left off, everybody was separated.
Yeah, and
in
prison.
The trailer off, and it looks like everybody's already back together, which makes me wonder if
what we're missing.
It seems like they're either going to wrap it up in an episode or 2, and it's probably just going to be a small little plot that they get back together, they get the band back together, whatever.
3 out of the 4 of them were imprisoned. Or 4 out of the 5. I'm sorry, 4 out of the 5 main ones were imprisoned.
Yeah, it leaves me to worry how much they're actually going to spend on the finale of this show, of like building up the ending of the show. Because I know they're talking about how they want a 5th season and then a movie, but I doubt the movie's happening. Just because I haven't heard anybody talk about the movie. It would be really cool. That would be a really, really awesome way for them to end that show. I think that'd be dope as hell. But
they could be keeping the movie a secret.
Yeah, I mean, watch them be like at the end of season 5, we're like, oh, to be continued in theaters, yada yada yada.
Yeah, and they drop a release date on you too, and then it's oh my god, it's like 3 months away.
Yeah, if you know the comics of The Boys, you'll already know that they've taken massive departures already.
We're not getting the same ending.
It's possible that we might be getting a version of the same ending, but it's already going to have to change so many different ways for that to happen. What is it? They dropped a whole bunch of images, like promotional images of Homelander, like flying over the planet. It's like on fire and shit, and there's bombs going off. So I'm assuming we're leading up to a very, very like action-packed, like apocalypse level ending for this show.
I'll get around to watching it one day.
I'm a big fan of how it ended in the comics, because it was just so oof.
Gen V season 2 was good, by the way. So like if you need a scratch and itch, Gen V season 2 is out. It's pretty good. You gotta watch it.
I haven't watched it yet. but I'm going to because I've heard great things.
It definitely scratches an itch, and you're gonna learn about the potential of some pretty badass heroes.
Yeah, CG is saying that the last season was okay, but I love the show and I love the comics for sure. I cannot wait.
I will say a lot of people are all the people that used to be like really raging after The Boys have kind of like switched sides, and they're like, oh, The Boys is like poor writing or whatever. If you want to see poor writing, read the original comic. The Boys show is like miles better, and like this is not a dig on, I think his name is Garth Ennis. He just hates superheroes, so I don't I don't hate him for that. But it's a very, The Boys comic is hate porn for superheroes. The Boys show is more of a political commentary on what superheroes would be like in the real world.
Yep.
At least from a certain point of view. But
so let's before we get into this Stu talk, right? Let's talk about what we were supposed to be going over today. So today, we were supposed to go over the shots and slashers ranking of holiday slasher horror films. So we're gonna move that to next week. So we'll be back on Sunday going over that list. It's a fun list. We'll probably
post it twice.
Yep, we'll post it in the community on the Facebook page so that we can go ahead and hopefully people can watch it and they can join in on it. Some really fun topics on here. We have also heard from Danny on this one because he's watched one of the films for the first time, and he's like, "Why'd you make me watch this hot garbage?" So that's going to be an interesting episode to talk about.
We've rewatched he watched it for the first time today, and I rewatched that movie today with him. It's a bad movie. Don't get me wrong. It's not a good movie.
Oh, the mean one.
Yeah. But my God, is it funny? Like it's funny in how kind of like overly cheesy it is sometimes.
It's like a Hallmark movie.
It is. It's a horror Hallmark movie. That's a great way to put it.
All right.
It's
and then I think there's going to be some arguments next week, which everybody loves. So.
Oh yeah.
Now, boys, before we move on to the Netflix and the Warner Brothers topic here, right? Toxic Avenger. We're gonna take another stab at that.
We're gonna try.
Yeah.
We have to. So we found out the issue is that we need to download these movies beforehand, and we unfortunately missed our chance to download this movie beforehand because it went off being free on YouTube.
Because and the other free streaming, the other streaming services it was on for free. Discord apparently has a blocker, the copyright blocker. So even though we were just like kind of watching it, it wouldn't stream. It would just show a black screen. So
and unfortunately, that's with a lot of streaming apps. So we're gonna have to find alternative venues to watch these movies.
All right. So we'll figure that out, and we'll have a date coming soon. Probably 2026. We'll work out the bugs in the next couple weeks.
Well, I'm gonna do some research and find the best possible quality that we can find this movie in. I'll download it and bring a USB and whatnot.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so let's see here. Now, our next topic, which is a bit concerning for me. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but let us know in the comments what you think. So, Netflix has won the bid to buy Warner Brothers. Now, it's going to be a long year process for them to iron out everything, especially since there's some talks about possible monopolies being in place with this. So, I don't know if it'll be blocked or not. But Netflix owning Warner Brothers now puts them in charge of Final Destination, The Conjuring universe, Gremlins, It, Evil Dead, the MonsterVerse, because they distribute Godzilla films, they distribute Friday the 13th films, they distribute Nightmare on Elm Street films. They also have DC. And a couple of days before this information came out, there was talks that James Gunn is getting ousted as the head of DC. So I'm nervous with Netflix buying Warner Brothers because one of the things that they have already announced that with DC movies and lower performing movies, they're not going to keep them in theaters as long. They're going to move them to streaming faster. And I think this is part of the problem that we have when it comes to theaters right now is that why go to the theaters when it'll be out and streaming within a couple weeks afterwards?
Yeah.
Now, it's not just the quality issue, but now we have like the alternative coming to streaming sooner. And my fears is that like we'll have the same thing that we seen with the music industry, right? it just kind of diluted profits very quickly because it's everywhere for people to pick up, and now we're going to start seeing this with movies too.
Well, yeah. So now I'll hop on your point there. So yeah, I am one of the big fears of the Netflix monopoly due to Disney Plus already being what it is. So we're worried about movies having a shorter run in theaters because they're going straight to they'll be going to streaming pretty soon anyways.
So
Disney Plus has already started doing that, and they've already started doing it with some of their most profitable movies being Marvel movies. Fantastic Four came out on Disney Plus not even 3 months after it was out in theaters.
Same thing with Superman. Superman already had like an initial release date for streaming,
which honestly I don't mind that because that was a thing that they had already planned to do with HBO Max, and that was something that they explicitly said was going to happen.
But like that's another because superhero movies are like safety box office breaker movies, right? And it was still like they were like, yeah, Superman, we're gonna throw that.
Superman made
HBO
less
Max.
money than other movies that have been going on that year, and to be fair, so did Fantastic Four. I think it's not necessarily, a lot of people are going to say superhero fatigue, superhero this, superhero that. It's not necessarily that. I think it's just people don't really want to go. Unfortunately, I don't think people want to go to the theater anymore. Streaming is become too accessible.
I don't even think it's that true, right?
What?
Like it's not even. It's not that people don't want, because the experience of a theater. Like we went to a theater, we enjoyed the experience, but it's so expensive to go to a theater now, and especially since like the streaming it feels so powerfully dangerous because it's taken out cable and satellite TV, and now it's the final nail in the coffin for.
I think it's taken out the music industry too.
It's going to work on doing that too.
And the way I explained it to you guys earlier, like the whole musicians only make a certain percentage, a very small certain percentage per stream on any streaming platform. Even YouTube, like if they get enough listens on YouTube, they make like 25 cents.
Like, right, it doesn't seem to be affecting the.
It's not such a huge issue because musicians, they have other avenues of getting money. They've got merch, they've got tours, they've got festivals that they play at. So these musicians have ways to make money off of it.
And there's still physical media that they sell. Like, because vinyl making a comeback.
With movies, you can't really do that. You can go to movie festivals, you can have like special premiere showings, you can do this, you can do that. But at the end of the day, if people don't want to go to the theaters and actually see these movies in theaters, they're probably just going to try and find some way to stream it or stream a different movie that's available on Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, whatever the fuck. Streaming is just going to unfortunately do what it did to the music industry, and it's going to murder it for a bit until we find another avenue for cinema.
I think that I like that comment that he said too, because it's something that that's what I'm concerned about too. Is like it's already at least $20 a month, and you have to like if you it's more. I'm pretty sure if you want to get ad free. Just think now Netflix now owns DC, several different horror entities. They own The Matrix. They own massive properties, and they're going to be having all these. These are like big franchises that are producing a lot of money. So who's to say that we're not climbing to $40-$50 a month to get these streaming services? They also own AEW now. Because so we're now getting more live shows on Netflix. So it's going to turn into a YouTube TV situation, which is like $60-$70 a month because you get live, you get your library of shows. So it's going to be super expensive. And they have like a huge, they have like a document that like they put out on their social medias where they're talking about this brand new thing that's happening and it's going to be great for the consumer, whatever. But it says, there's fine print right there. It says like in big bold letters, it's meant for their shareholders to profit. So we are going to see a financial loss as a consumer because they're going to skyrocket their prices in some way. They already have a Netflix shop for their merch. So if you say they're not skyrocketing the merch prices and then also raising their monthly subscription prices.
Talking about merch, right? So physical media now becomes something that could be in jeopardy. Because remember, the movie Hush came out as a Netflix original film, and it took like 5-6 years to get a physical copy of it, and that only started because Netflix dropped it. Right? That's the danger of having digital movies out there. Is like, even if you purchase and own it, it goes away. It goes away. It doesn't matter if you own it or you're a renter. It's just done. And that was one of the things that happened with the movie Hush. Is like, people loved the movie Hush. It was available for streaming, and then it just poof, it went away.
Yep.
So we're going to
Best Buy
see
and
that.
Walmart are both working on their stores, removing physical media, and our Walmart here at least still has physical media. Like, they have movies, like they have Blu-rays and whatnot, but I'm pretty sure our Best Buy does not anymore. So
yeah. And the rare thing I'm gonna say, man, thank God Walmart's trying to keep the prices down, because you can see Blu-rays right now in the $40 range, and that's just ridiculous.
It's
like,
crazy.
what are we doing here?
We were getting upset when they changed it from $15 to $20, and now now we're seeing, like,
it's the same thing. It's the same thing that's happening with gaming and shit right now as well.
You mean $70 controllers and $90 video games?
It's it's been happening since fucking everything started getting more expensive, and streaming anything became possible. Movies, it started killing physical media and killing like just regular sales at like the theaters and whatnot. And gaming, now digital media, buying digital media is starting to kill physical media for gaming as well now. Because you go to any store that sells physical video games, those shelves are going to still be stocked, because nobody touches them, because they can just get them online now.
Yeah, and like, who wants to spend $90 on a Switch 2 video game? What's new? What's the convenience? You're not giving me a case, or you're giving me a case that's empty. You're not giving me a disc. I can't take it and travel.
Well,
but
the thing with the Switch 2, is too, you don't own the game. You own the license to use the game. Same thing with the console. So like, if you do something to the console that's not within their license agreement, they turn your console into a brick. So like, I think they even said like some people were buying non-Nintendo marketed chargers. So like, they were just off-brand chargers, and that was considered a mod that was not allowed through the license agreement. So their consoles just get bricked. You can't use them anymore. And it's the same thing with the games. Like, if you do something within the game that they deem is not allowed, you can't use the game anymore. They can strip the license from the game. So now it's even physical media is somehow not becoming our own and something that we own. So what's the point of spending $90 when I can wait for it to go on sale on Steam and spend like $5? For instance, currently the RoboCop game, it's $60. It's right now, it's $5 on sale. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
I think the only reason why, unfortunately, these companies are still like able to do this is because it's just like the only avenue for some of these people too. Like, for Nintendo specifically, like, Nintendo is the kids' console. Like, Nintendo is for kids. Everybody knows that Nintendo games are usually family games that you can play with your family. You get an Xbox, you're expecting Call of Duty. You get a PlayStation, you're expecting like God of War or some shit like that. PC is just too complicated for the normal user. It's actually just disgusting, like what Nintendo is. They're capitalizing on their monopoly of family games.
But we might be seeing it with Netflix and other streaming services now too. I mean, we are seeing it.
It's already happened. We don't own anything. We don't own anything anymore.
Yeah. Corporations are just slowly taking everything.
Cyberpunk 2077. Play it.
It's also Alien Earth.
Yeah. Corporations are taking everything away, and they found a loophole to do it. That's the scary part, is they found a loophole to do it, and everybody's fallen into the trap.
Like, it's like, how are they not monopolies? They are monopolies. They've been monopolies for a while. How is Disney somehow not falling under the regulation of monopoly? It's because they are. They just pay the fines that because they can afford it. So it's
So we'll end on this comment here before we start talking about Stu Macher. So, streaming music is great. That's why I started collecting movies. Having my music on me at all times is way better than having a shitload of CDs, but having physical copies of movies beats digital. So,
you don't like having your binder of CDs you can flip through?
I still have my binder of 400 CDs upstairs in my closet. But so like this is a fantastic comment, right? Because I don't like to have everything digital, but I like having all of my music handy to me at all freaking times. But there's also the experience of losing out, going to record stores to buy the CDs and having the physical copy in your hands, and like many people today with vinyls and stuff like that, is a different type of experience when you actually get to buy the copy or wait for the copy to come out, rather than sitting there and having it essentially just like, oh, there it is. I can throw on YouTube Music, Spotify, and I can scroll through hundreds of thousands of songs in an instant and not ever have to worry about buying the CD or anything like that.
Yeah, you can set your own playlist. You don't have to just like throw in a CD.
The only reason you don't see a whole bunch of like music streaming monopoly apps like Spotify, I would argue, is maybe monopolized in the music industry. But the only reason you don't see that is because YouTube exists and everybody can listen to it for free, whether like at any time, anyways. So. And that's the only reason I think that the music industry has a hard time being monopolized. Like there are people that try to do it. Like Spotify is really trying hard to do it because they're trying to make it so that they're the only platform that people use. Makes sense. They want money, but it's still not great because then what happens if you lose access to Spotify?
Yep.
God forbid they deactivate your account.
What if Spotify goes broke? Everything goes down the toilet.
Yep,
exactly.
So, this happened a while ago with Best Buy, and they have their insurance policies, their plans on TVs and stuff like that. Well, that company went bankrupt, and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, what do we do now? Because the company that holds all of this stuff went bankrupt. Now we have to quickly switch. So. Yeah, we'll see. But you know what? I'll blame digital music on why music has not been really that good since the early 2000s. It's just like all.
I blame I blame I don't want to say that. That sounds weird. That sounds mean.
All right. Let's dive into it now. So we've been posting a lot of videos on our YouTube channel in regards to theories relating to Stu Macher. So Stu Macher's motives, why the Stu Macher body double, and finding out whoa, there was a kid at the party that was dressed almost exactly the same as Stu Macher and looks just like him. It could have been the body swap there. And then recently we were talking about Kirby Reed being his secret accomplice the whole entire time and comparing that to Silence of the Lambs. So if you haven't seen those videos, take a look at that. But a lot of comments that I've seen over the last month has been, what if Stu Macher is actually the anti-hero in Scream 7 and they're just pulling the rug out from under us, and it's not that he's back to hunt Sydney, he's back to save Sydney. So, like, one of the things that I've heard, and everybody drop your comments in as we're going along, is that it could be Tatum, Sydney naming her daughter Tatum after his girlfriend, which that's a hard sell for me. It's like, oh, yeah, so then maybe he's going to save her daughter and fight the other Ghostface. So what's your guys' thoughts on Stu Macher being a possible anti-hero in this one?
I think it's stupid enough that they do it.
It's a complete red herring. Fair point. Yeah, it's a complete red herring. You would not see that coming.
Do I think it'll work? It gives me a lazy eye to think about. I wouldn't be happy. I don't think I know anybody that would be happy about that. But I think everybody wants Stu to be the big bad. You know, well, to be fair though, I mean, God forbid they come up with an actually decent storyline of making Stu the hero, and then everybody's like, it sucks, and it's actually good. And I'm like,
yeah.
I think sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's the culture that we live in right now. We hate everything, right? We trash everything, even if it's good sometimes. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I know. We talked about Superman.
I was like, so I mean, like, making him a full-on, like, this is a full-on redemption arc. I think that's rather dumb. I don't want to see Stu Macher. I don't want to see Matthew Lillard come back as Stu Macher, and then he's trying to save. He's fighting the good fight, and he's saving Sydney and her daughter. There's the what piece of storytelling can you put in there that makes that make sense? I don't like not that I wouldn't understand why you would want to do something like that, and that time in the mental hospital really made me feel bad about it. Really fixed me. Like it would make more sense if it was like the convoluted idea that he's that him and Kirby are doing the right thing and preserving the original, like, but in Stu's light, not in the way that they did it in Scream 5. Like, so like he's wrecking shop, but he's taking out other Ghostface, so he looks like he's an anti-hero, but really he wants Sydney for himself. Other than that, like I don't see it in a way that it plays well. I don't like. So like I think they could do it. I just don't see it in a way that it's gonna make sense for me. In a way that I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm glad. I that's interesting and a bold choice, and it played perfectly on screen. I'm glad that they did that. It's not gonna happen.
All right.
Unfortunately.
Let's talk about Lizzie's theory here. So Lizzie has only if it was the case that Sid, Kirby, and Gale went to the asylum to pick his brain to find that has her daughter. So, all right. So there was rumors that there was going to be an asylum in the first trailer. That did not happen. So this is possibly a case where that could happen. So what's your thoughts here? That his role is as small as it is in Five Nights at Freddy 1 and 2. And essentially
is this a Blumhouse film?
But it's Spyglass. So
I know.
So, this is a Silence of the Lambs type of deal, which supports my Kirby theory, but it's also like the Blacklist. So, like, now we have these guys going there for information.
I mean, that would...
If people really want this to happen, I'm sure it's going to happen. I don't think that people want it to happen. At least I'm hoping. It doesn't... If they're going to do this, then they have to do my idea of Gale being the real main villain. They have to.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
Give her the white Ghostface robe with the clear mask, so that whenever the blood goes on, it just goes. Whoosh.
I think regardless of what happens, Stu, like unless Stu is really coming back as a main character, and he's like, I'm gonna help you through this journey of woe. It's gonna be a small. His face, his voice, it's gonna be a small part. Because if he's behind the mask, we're not going to find out until the end, and then it's going to lead us into 8, or at least that's what we. He's in the asylum. It's going to be a short role. If he is trying to help them, first, we're probably not going to see him very long, and then they're gonna take him out. If it's this route, I think that this still could play out. But like, how would he know that the Ghostface are back? Oh, he's actually working with Kirby, and there's your set. Like, it's a double red herring kind of deal. So like. If this played out on screen and then it turns out that he's still a Ghostface and him and Kirby are working together, that would be something that I would be intrigued by. But regardless, I don't think we're gonna see Matthew Lillard a lot in this. I think it's gonna be a short, like 5-10 minutes towards the end of the film kind of deal.
Here's why I don't think this one works is because, like, all right, so he's in the asylum. It's been 30 years. There's been various ghost faces that have been out there. And just now we're going to see what's going on there. Like, all right, so maybe it's to help find Tatum. Okay, but why would you go to Stu to help find Tatum? Like, does Gale discover that he's alive? Is Kirby back in the film and they haven't revealed it yet, even though Entertainment Weekly said that she is? What's the motive that's going to have him connect the dots 30 years later, saying that, oh yeah, these new Ghostface in there? So you would have to touch base on the cult, right?
Yeah.
And then Lukas, I like your idea. It's like, oh, okay, unless Gale is the person that's behind it all, because that would be a great reveal. Like, you go back to the asylum looking for answers, right? Because maybe the AI voice is really signifying that Stu's alive, and then Stu drops the bomb on us. It's like, hey, I wasn't acting alone. It wasn't Roman. It was Gale all along, and then
Agatha.
That's yeah.
It was Agatha all along.
Mm-hmm. So that would possibly be really nice to see, but I just don't. The asylum theory kind of feels a little cheap.
These creatively bankrupt people are ruining a franchise that I've loved for many a year.
Let me tell you, look, this has Halloween Ends vibes. Do the writing right. All right, let's see what else we got out there. So King Matthew, honestly, the one problem I have killed Dewey. So if he did kill Dewey, then why would Stu be the hero?
Yeah.
I don't know. I also I'm in the boat of, if we didn't see it in the movie, it didn't happen, unless they're gonna try and wrap that in this movie. Which
Dewey's coming back in some capacity in this movie.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be so for real. It has a possibility. It has a possibility of them revealing that, you know, Stu was the one that killed Dewey.
Well, again, it could not have been Amber. Amber is not taller than he was crouching down. Yeah, after he got stabbed the second time, but even still, she's like 4'3". She's not taller than a 6 foot. It just doesn't make sense. It would make sense if it was Dewey, and Dewey's been working in the shadows since, or not Dewey, I'm sorry, Stu, and he's been working in the shadows since 4. But other than that, like, it doesn't add up.
I haven't seen Scream 6 yet. Does it make sense? No.
All right, we'll get to that comment in a minute.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Sorry.
Yeah. Focus the ADHD. Focus the ADHD. Yeah. So, the one way that you could explain Stu not being the person that killed Dewey is that Danny also seemed like a Ghostface cult plant. Like, Danny could be that person that was in the hospital.
Is Danny the boyfriend from? Wait, who's
6.
Danny?
Danny is the boyfriend from 6.
From 6.
The guy's like, "Hey guys, there's a Ghostface there. Let me run the ladder across there instead of coming over there to help you." You know. So
unfortunately, there's no level of plot fixing, retconning that is going to fix the confusion between 6 and 7.
See, that's not true though. All you have to do is at the end of 7, you show the cult, and every single character that is assumed to be working in the shadows as Ghostface that are headcanon pop up. So you get Christine, you get Danny, you get Gail, you get all of these other people that were assumed to be in other movies playing the role of Ghostface, or an explanation to why they were initially Ghostface. Because we thought there was like 4 or 5 Ghostface in Scream 5, all supposedly working together but not working together. Yeah. So it can work. You just have to mention them as being a part of the cult or currently being in the cult. Because
I really hope to God they play it like it's some kind of like programmer bro cult, where it's like they're all just like, yeah, let's do it.
My
God. See, we're gonna talk about that during the Christmas ranking, because of Black Christmas 2019. That's basically what jeez, I keep forgetting it. Black Christmas 2019 did. They did the Ghostface cult thing, but it was an alpha bro thing.
That's so funny.
So stupid. It was so fucking stupid.
So I think you just kind of hit on something that may actually be where they're going. So the original ending to Scream 3 was that, hey, the reveal at the end is that Stu was the cult leader pulling the strings all along, because Sydney would go back to the Stu Macher house, and there she would see some of the characters in that original film that were supposedly dead. So there would have been fake out deaths and a lot of stuff. And then she walked there and she would see all these people that's like, wait, what's going on here? Like, I recognize some of these people, and that when Stu would come out of the shadows. So there's a possibility that's maybe you get the ending of 7. You see Danny there. You see Christina Carpenter. You see Leslie Mocker. You see Angelina show up again. So you see some of these older characters come back, and Kevin Williamson restores his original ending by doing something like that.
Marcus has pushed on that several times, that's something that he's been wanting to implement. So and that clears up a lot of plot holes that are within the franchise of, like, how are these Ghostface doing these things when these people are around with other people. So it clears up a lot of stuff that I don't know. It would be so easy. It'd be all you got to do is, like, for like 2 minutes. They got to just stand in the background with a robe on. And that clears up so much because Stu's going to monologue, and that's the end of Scream 7. And then there you go. 1 through 6 is all tied up in a neat little bow.
Yep.
I still want them to do a meta narrative, like New Nightmare or whatever the hell.
They may if they screw this one up. Maybe that's what they'll have to do to fix it. Like they already guaranteed 8. So
I really wouldn't mind that. I think that would be a fun story to tell. I think that would be a fun little thing for them to do to end off the franchise, have it be the actually last thing that comes out from Scream. And then if somebody wants to do something with Scream in the future, keep it on TV show, or if we want to do a movie, but don't keep with the same storyline.
I think realistically, like if you if you decide that you want to do a definitive end to the ongoing franchise of Sidney Prescott as it is with Neve Campbell, you do that, and then if you want to do something with Scream again, you have all of the narrative to fix the mistakes of the previous movies, so you can turn it into a TV show or a movie or a movie franchise again, and then just redo it.
Yep.
And you can do it in a better timeline. You could do it with the plot holes being fixed. You could get somebody in there that actually, wants to make the franchise for the fans, and you get Gail finally getting her character arc of being the leader of the cult, and we actually get the cult. There is definitely opportunity to do something like that but that's if they decide that they want to end the movies, and right now, I don't see that happening.
Cash is king.
Because that's the thing. Regardless of whether or not we like it, because we are heavily invested into theories and all of the stuff behind it. So if it's not going to go our way, we're not going to be happy. But average consumer, as you're saying, average watcher for Five Nights at Freddy's, same thing. You want them to get in. Average watchers are probably going to come in and watch this movie, and it's still going to sell. So we're still going to get 8, and it's probably going to still continue their narrative, regardless of whether or not we like it. Unfortunately.
Yep. So we got Melissa saying that I think Stu is going to be a red herring in this movie. I think he's going to be an AI voice for this one, but I still think he's ultimately behind it all, possibly revealed in or after the in and after credit scene. That's a good thing.
Are they an after credit scene yet?
No, that'd be new for them.
Oh, they did. No, yes, they did. They did it in Scream 6, making fun of end credit scenes because it was one of the twins, not Martha. What the hell is her name? Mindy. Yep. There was a scene when they're at the college and scene talking about how, of course, there's not going to be they wouldn't do end credit scenes or something like that. I wonder if it's on YouTube or something like that. Yeah. Because remember, we all stayed for the theater. We all stayed at the end of the movie to see if there's going to be an end credit scene, and then that scene came out. I was like, son of a bitch! They Captain America'd us.
I don't remember that. I'll have to now watch it.
Beeler.
So, you thought you were going to get a Scream post-credit scene.
So, an AI voice just for Stu? But then again, that's like what we're talking about before, too. Is it a cheap sell-off? Because I think you need a definitive answer now, right?
I would really fucking hope not.
Yeah, I think we need a definitive answer about Stu Macher because the house has now been it's going to be in 3 of the 7 movies, right? In 6, he's hinted at being alive by Mindy. In 5, he's hinted at being alive on Richie's laptop. So it's always been floating around in the films, right? So you look at part 1, you look at part 5 and 6, and now 7. That's 4 out of the 7 movies that have Stu Macher references in it. So he has to be alive. Otherwise, there's no payoff. Definitive answer. Yeah, there's no payoff. Exactly. There's no payoff to all of the stuff that's been out there. So he has to be alive. And I think it'd just be cheap not to do something like that. Now, in Melissa's aspect here is like, give me an AI voice and then he's revealed in the mid-credit scene or something like that. I'll take it because then you have a whole marketing campaign for 8 where it's Sidney versus Stu, maybe one last time. But then again, that gives me Halloween Ends vibes. Where they did the Michael versus Laurie one more time stuff too. So
I think we gotta get a Walking Dead Saviors season finale, right? Like when they're trying to Sydney's like could you imagine Sydney's like in a city and she's running through back alleys and every corner she turns she sees a Ghostface, and then eventually she just gets pitted by a bunch of them and they're all surrounding her. Like And then you leave it off not knowing what happens to Sydney, but you know she's face to face with a cult of Ghostface, and the head of the cult is Stu. That would be fucking dope. I like because that was also like, regardless of what you think of the next of the season premiere after that in Walking Dead, that season finale was fucking amazing, and you really felt your balls in your throat watching that season finale. Like, that was terrifying. And seeing that with an already because like, I don't know what it is about like the Ghostface get up, but like there's something about it that really just kind of can easily instill that weird feeling in the back of your neck. So seeing that in a movie and then it just ends off that way, not knowing, quote unquote, not knowing what's going to happen to Sydney, would be a good segue into 8. I would love to see that.
Yeah,
so that would bring up the same issue that we've had with movies like 28 Years Later, where people are saying how well is this movie going to stand on its own if it's really just going to be set up for a two-parter.
But 28 Years Later was just an overall confusing jumble of plot.
I still disagree on that. I don't know. I think 28 Years Later still uses just a lot. It's
fine to disagree. There's like four storylines going on in that movie, and there's nothing is answered.
Yeah, well, we don't want to have story building movies like we see in MCU, where it's just like, oh, all right, well, let's build a whole entire story to set up the next 3 stories, right? So, no.
MCU story building was better, in phase 1 and 2, when they were just making movies with these characters, that rather than building the story for the overall world, it was more so about the characters, getting, growing and becoming different people throughout the course of that era of Marvel. Like, a lot of people hate on Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 is one of the best fucking Iron Man movies there is.
That's a bold and incorrect claim.
It is. God. Shane Black did a great job.
No.
All right, so this is what Lukas was responding to before.
Am I gonna put it on for Christmas? Am I gonna put it on for Christmas because it's a Christmas movie? Yeah, sure. That doesn't mean it's a good movie.
Yeah. So 420 Slayers, I haven't seen Scream 6 yet. Does it make sense? Until the end.
Yeah.
Up until the end.
This movie, the movie is good if you look at it as a character building movie for Sam Carpenter, which then doesn't pay off because she's not in the 7th.
Yeah. Scream 6 is a little missable. I can't lie. I would say you could probably not watch that movie. It's not like it's a bad movie. I would say it's not the greatest movie that's out there. It's not the greatest Scream movie, at least. I think Scream 4 is definitely still at like one of the top of my list of being one of the better Scream movies. But Scream 6, it does have a bit of a confusing plot. The whole, like, wait, he hasn't seen Scream 6, so I'm not going to spoil it for him, but there's a few different plot lines in that movie that it's hard to follow and it's hard to make sense out of for yourself. And
it's lots of continuity.
It's weak. That's what it is. It's a weak sequel. It's a letdown of a Ghostface reveal. No one dies. No, one person dies in that movie. One person that's not a Ghostface dies in that movie. So it's disappointing. It's a disappointing movie.
Different movie than what people wanted for a Scream sequel. So yeah, I get why people are upset.
The core 4 is protected, right? So the core 4 is right now very protected in the Scream universe. So unless it changes in Scream 7,
as much as I hate to say it, one of them or both of them have to die in this movie in order to really really grip the narrative. Like, I think, like, especially like if we like the theory with the Martha Meeks thing, right? Like, I know it's not what we're talking about, but if Martha Meeks is the Ghostface, you gotta take one of them out. I still think it has to be Chad. It has to be Chad. It's a better idea than Stu being the hero in this.
Look, I could see like where Mindy is the person that's unalived in this one, and then it's like Chad comes to her side and she says some snarky remark, because like, man, I always thought it was going to be you with how many times you got stabbed, and look, here I am dying. Right, I can see that being a line in the movie, because it would just it'd be just a meta comment that they would throw in there. But the interesting thing here that I want to bring up with 420 Slayer and then the topic that we're going on is the Scream 6 trailers had so many misdirections and red herrings in the trailers that you didn't get what you think was going to happen in those trailers, because it looked like Sam was turning to the dark side with that head nod when she's holding that gun.
Yeah, the trailer presented a better movie.
Yep. And they also present it where it looks like almost Tara's maybe the villain in it, because she's hanging there. She has this evil look on her face before she gets dropped. And then you have the whole movie's playing in the background. It's like, oh shit, they're going to finally address Roman, the biggest missing piece of the puzzle. Like, they'll bring Roman in and tie everything full circle with it. But none of that's done. Like, the trailers are a lot better than what the movie is. That's where I'll put it.
It's feeding into your imagination, and then you get let down.
All right, let's see here. So we got King Matthew. The only way I could see Stu being a hero working is Stu wants to end the Ghostface, because it was Ghostface that killed his nephew, Vince, in Scream 5, so he wants to end the Ghostface for good. Yep, I agree. That's what we talk about on our video on the channel, is that's why Kirby's in. That's why I'm thinking Kirby is the best thing to do in this, throw her in as an accomplice, reveal that she has been helping him dismantle the cult that he had formed.
Do we think that Leslie Macher is going to be, like, who Leslie Macher is going to be revealed at the end? Or, because, like, if it's revealed at the beginning, right? Like, it's revealed at the beginning, she's going to hate Sydney, right? Because Sydney, by proxy, is the reason that her son died. So you would have to imagine that it would be a little bit easy to make Leslie Macher the Ghostface too. I'm now just thinking about that. Like, wouldn't it be a little bit easy? It's like, oh, I hate you for the things that you've done. Like, that's easy. That's very easy.
That's a good point. I think with this too is, like, if, say, Anna Camp is Leslie Macher, right? That's what all of our suspicions are, is that she's Leslie Macher, right? If you reveal Anna Camp as another character, and then at the end she says, like, oh, I've been Leslie Macher, blah, blah, blah. We've seen that before. Like, we have that with Mrs. Loomis, where she lost weight and now she's somebody else, right? So
we literally had that in Scream 6 with the entire family.
Exactly. Exactly. So, like, you can't do that anymore. So, like, if Leslie Macher is in the film, it has to be, like, maybe we see her early and often, and she's a main part of the story, not a reveal. It's like, oh, Scooby Doo it, there's my mask, I'm really this person. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that at all.
That's the thing. So then it kind of falls apart with her being Ghostface, because if she, right off the jump, we know who she is Leslie Macher, and she obviously is she's obviously going to have some reservations about being around Sydney. It's gonna, like, just introducing the character, it's gonna be hard to introduce the character and then have her be Ghostface. You know what I mean? I think that she makes more sense as a red herring now. That the more that I think about it, I think Leslie Macher makes more sense as a red herring than an actual Ghostface. And maybe, listen, I know we're supposed to be pushing the theory that Stu's a good guy, but maybe Stu comes back and maybe Stu takes her out. Who knows?
So maybe it's this. Like, we take King Matthew's comment here, and then we throw it in with E.M. Arnold 2331. I'd be very unhappy if they brought Stu back as a hero. My favorite theory is him leading the Ghostface cult. So maybe it's a combination of the two, right?
Yeah.
The red herring is that Stu is kind of brought back as the anti-hero because he is looking to end the cult. But then maybe that's a misdirect, because he wipes out the cult and then he comes back to Sydney. It's like, oh, sorry. It was you all along. I was just going to take everything down. This is my last hurrah. So I took down the cult, and now I'm taking you down. And then that's how we go into 8.
It wouldn't be, well, then he wouldn't be the leader of the cult. Then he would be the destroyer of the cult.
I want a Kingsman style scene of, like, Ghostfaces and, like, a whole bunch of Ghostfaces fighting each other.
I think, honestly, if Stu's not the leader of the cult, I would say Richie is, or he's the martyr of the cult. Let me see. Yep. Melissa's got, I still think Mama Carpenter is going to be introduced too, so we can bring the girls back into the fold as well. I would like that. That.
Because unfortunately, it is a loose end that still needs to be tied up. And especially if you're bringing Chad and Mindy back into it, like if this was going to be like quietly retconning or not even like retconning, but just like saying like those events don't matter anymore, and this is still Sydney's story, that would be fine. But you have Chad and Mindy in this movie now, so everything that happened in 5 and 6 is important, and Sam and Tara were the front lines of that. They were the main, just as the core 4, but they were the main too. The story is about them and the fact that Sam's father is Billy. Tara has to deal with the fact that they're only half siblings, and her sister's father is a psychopath, and she's kind of a psychopath too. So like the story was about them. The story wasn't just like, it wasn't just about the core 4. It was mainly about them. And now you have 2 members of the core 4 coming into Scream 7. If it's not already planned, it feels like it's a way of asking them to come back in a capacity. Like, hey, we want you guys to come back. Can you do it for 8 for us or something like that? If they're not in 7, or if they're somehow keeping that under wraps and they are going to be in 7 in some way, or even at the very least you tease that Sam is in it in some way, I would be satisfied, because I know that 1, Tara's coming back in it, and 2, we're going to get closure for them as well in some way. And I do also think it's important to introduce, as we put it, Mama Carpenter, which is not Christine from Scream 3. I hate to break it to you, but I think that she could play a prevalent role in this movie as well, because we still don't know who the hell this woman is. She has not been in 2 movies, and she is most likely an accomplice to the first movie, the big hurrah. So regardless of who it is, like we could be missing another big puzzle piece of whoever Sam and Tara's mom is.
Yep. So if we were to bring her back with the intention of throwing money at Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega to come back for a follow-up film, does it make sense to unalive Christina Carpenter, and that's the trigger to bring Melissa back as Sam?
Well, I think that depends. Like, because if Chad or Mindy bites the dust, I feel like that's motivation enough. Because like, yeah, her and her, like, it's her mom, obviously, but their relationship isn't estranged. Like, they don't like, from what we know, the last time they spoke to each other, they were not on good terms. So who knows what that relationship is like? But she's trauma bonded through 2 different experiences with Chad and Mindy, and they are a part of the core 4. I think that one of them dying motivates her more, especially if your idea that their mom is going to be a Ghostface in this is correct, because if she's a Ghostface and she takes out Chad or Mindy, or takes out both of them, then that's really going to motivate her to want to take out her mom if she starts finding this out.
That could be the whole point, to have Chad and Mindy in this, right? Chad and Mindy may be the only 2 people that recognize her, and then the reveal is like, oh shit, Mrs. Carpenter, right? Because if you remember in Scream 4, Sydney doesn't recognize Judy Hicks, and they went to school together, so it's probably not going to know who she is. So it could be that moment too where they're like, oh my god, it's you. But then that's going to feel like another recycle of Scream 2, and Scream 6 is like, oh, we got.
Well, 5 and 6 feels like a recycle of 1 and 2, does it not?
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. So let's see. We got Gordon here. Gordon Hotchkiss. I like that name. Gordon Hotchkiss. I proposed weeks ago that Stu might actually be a good guy in this. I actually said weeks ago Stu should be the hero and Sydney's husband is the killer, and now everyone is jumping on the bandwagon.
No, I still think that I think her husband bites, and I really hope that it's true.
Everybody likes to hate this Joel guy.
Okay, so
I don't get it.
I don't get it. I just watched.
I think he's great.
Here's the thing, right? Like, so
I think he's great in Community.
You have to watch It's a Wonderful Night.
In The Bear, I love to hate him on screen. If he plays a good character in this movie, I am not gonna hate it.
Right, here's my thing with that, right? You like him in The Bear because he plays himself, just not in a comedic setting. He plays a douchebag. He plays a douchebag.
Everybody says he's playing himself. We've never met this guy.
He plays the
character. He's probably the nicest guy ever.
I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying that he's no. I'm not saying he's not a nice guy. But in every single thing he plays a douchebag, and he plays it well. He plays a douchebag in The Bear, and he plays it well. I just watched It's a Wonderful Night, and he's supposed to play a trauma-bound father in like the. We're gonna talk about it. And I was hoping that there was gonna alter my opinion. No, he's so fucking stale. He's stale in a serious role. He can't do it. I'm sorry. I don't care if he's a Ghostface. It's only gonna make sense that he's a Ghostface because he's gonna be a douchebag after he takes the mask off. Yeah, that's right, bitch. I just fucked you for the money, and now I'm gonna kill you for more money. Like that's all. That's the only way I see this working. Is Joel McHale is gonna be Ghostface and he's gonna be a douchebag. Other than that, I'm perfectly fine with that scene.
Oh
in the
my
trailer
God.
getting stabbed and he's
It'd
done.
be like a cross between Ghostface and Spider-Man, who'll be snarky under the mask, just taunting people.
Oh my God!
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's the thing. It can't be him because he won't shut the fuck up under the mask.
Well, what if they have it in the Ghostface voice?
You could tell.
Yep.
He's just gonna start saying one-liners.
I thought he was great in the Community. I thought he was fucking hilarious in Community.
I love him in Community.
Listen, he can't do it. He can't do it. I don't want to see him as Ghostface.
If there's a possibility that people could surprise you, so I'll hold out hope that if he is a good character, and if he's not a character that is not like going to die immediately, that he's actually portrayed.
It's a Wonderful Knife came out 2 years ago.
I don't know.
All right, so just real quick.
Also, I want to talk about.
Salted Trash is being a little snarky. But I want to respond to this here. So you guys so grossly critical of the movie's writers turns me off from listening to this. First of all, look, there are so many continuity errors in this entire franchise that hell yeah, you can be critical of the writers because if they don't connect all the mistakes that they have after 2 and take advantage of it because it really benefits them, then it's just poor writing from 2 on because of all the mistakes that they've put into this franchise and all of the casting errors that they've made with stunt doubles and stuff like that. So yeah, we love Scream. We're not hating on it like we were probably a month or 2 months ago before we saw the trailer. But my God, there is so many mistakes when it comes to writing in this that you got to be critical of.
I'll also say it's it also just falls down to these are just our opinions too. Like
yeah.
At the end of the day, if we don't like something, we're going to voice that we don't like it because, we want to share our opinions. That's what we started doing this for. But at the end of the day, if you don't agree, you don't agree. It's not a big deal. They're movies. Art is subjective. We see it one way. You may see it another.
Yeah. Some people love Halloween Ends and none of us.
Some people love the entire Halloween franchise. Yeah. I don't get it.
Let's see what else we got out there for comments.
I wanted to reply to 420 Slayers. It's like you guys hate on the 6 so much. Why do you sound excited for 7 or whatever? Because we're hopeful. We're hopeful little beans.
So
we want the movie to be good.
420 Slayer, you're 100% right because we've spent like maybe months talking about, oh man, what the hell? Every time we got like news tidbits coming out about Scream 7 here, we were like, oh my God, this is going to be horrible. And then like we did a live stream of the trailer dropping that we haven't seen. And then like I was nervous going into it and we're all like, oh, we're back in. The trailer looks so good. We're back in. So yeah, Scream 6 was that type of movie that would just turn you off of what's coming next. But the trailer just pulls you right back in.
The trailer, so that's the thing, the trailer does look good, but that's the thing. We had the same thing with Scream 6 where the trailer looked good. And then it was disappointing too because also you have to think about fans for about 30 years now have been discussing the hopes of doing a cult ghost. Maybe not 30 years because it probably started maybe Scream 2. I would probably say, I don't know, I wasn't alive for it. So, but you would have to imagine that the cult ghost has been talked about for at least 2 decades. So Scream 6 introduces that idea and then quickly shits on it. Like they do it, they shut it down, and then it's nothing after that. Then it's a revenge story, which is. It's a revenge story that takes place on a college campus. So it's the same exact thing as Scream 2 because Scream 5 did it, right? They did it back in the Macher house. It kind of felt like it was Billy and Stu repeat. And then you have Scream 6 where it takes place where Tara's in college. They're getting attacked by Richie's family because
you're going into spoiler territory.
I apologize. But it's the same exact formula as 5 and 6 is the same exact formula as 1 and 2, and it just does it not as good because, like I said, only one person dies in that movie, and it's just disappointing. And there is a lot of plot holes, unfortunately, in the franchise. So I want to be excited for 7. That's the thing. But you also now have, and the potential to fix these plot holes is being presented to us now because you have Dewey somehow returning. You have Jack Foley as Roman returning. You have Stu returning. You have a lot of things presented to you, even if it's not in the trailer, that can fix a lot of the issues in the franchise that we're having. Just a matter of looking, I guess, or hoping.
It all just falls down to, we want the movie to be good. We're hoping. We just keep seeing that things that might not be great.
Yeah. So you got Wrestling God here. Hey, I got a theory on Stu. He could be going after Tatum because it's reminiscent of his relationship with Tatum Riley, and it got him to despise Sid's daughter even more.
Because it makes him think of it in a weird, sick way that she's fantasizing about the events as well, right? Like that, because that would, I guess that could kind of make sense as well.
I guess.
It definitely wouldn't be a bad story. No, it wouldn't be a bad storytelling element.
I can't begin to imagine whatever thought process they're gonna have for Stu in this, because I really don't know. It could be anything. It could genuinely be anything.
I can't think. I'm really trying to rack my brain as how you can play it that Stu is a good guy and it works, and I can't possibly think of a way that at least a way that I would enjoy seeing it. Because that's the thing. I don't want to see Matthew Lillard portray a good guy. I would like to see him also. Yeah, if you take him out, but then why would you want to? Why do you keep doing this to us? Matthew Lillard is a great actor. Keep giving us Matthew Lillard. Don't ruin the potential of a good actor.
It'd be like the ending of Spider-Man 3 with Peter and Harry at the end. It's like, oh, they came back to help him after they hated each other for so long, and had that sad moment, and then he just dies.
Dead. Yeah, they could do that, and I would hate that, because why? Why would you want to? I thank you for helping me, Dewey. You're welcome, Sydney. It was for you and your daughter, and then he dies like that. Maybe he wasn't such a bad guy after all.
Yeah, I just wanted to fix things that I screwed up for you.
I feel like it. Does it make sense though? Because at the end of the trailer, they throw in him saying this is gonna be fun. It's Matthew Lillard saying that at the end, and it's not like them taking it from the first movie and putting it in there. It's him saying a new variation of that line, and them rewriting it and him saying it again. So it doesn't seem like, even though he was only in the trailer as a vocal for 2 seconds, that he's being portrayed as a hero. The only way I see him being a hero, if it's for a brief moment, maybe, and he takes out other Ghostfaces, oh yeah, I just wanted to do it myself, and then then he goes after them. But I just can't I can't think of a way that it works well.
Yep. So good comment here by King Matthews. I don't know if any casting has been made for Scream 8, but yet if Scream 8 is just Kirby's story, because that's been rumored for a while, was a Kirby spinoff. Yeah, there's supposed to be that Kirby spinoff that we actually talked about way before they even considered it, where you have Kirby going after Ghostface, and it's a TV show possibly. So the FBI aspect of it. I'm glad
you do a Kirby TV show. If Kirby is working with Stu in this movie, you can do the Kirby TV show that it actually takes place before 8, and she's working with Stu. And that's it's the adventures of Stu and Kirby taking out the cult together in some sort of, and that's more so your anti-hero story there, and that would build up into Scream 8 in a way that would tie more, make things work out better in him being an anti-hero. And I would watch the show, and I would appreciate what they did in Scream 8 if they did that.
I would be I just lost my train of thought here. Here's what I was going to say. It's I'm glad they're not making any announcements on casting. We know it's pretty much going to be greenlit, the way the talk has been around it, right? But if you make any casting announcements, it's like Stranger Things, and it's like The Walking Dead before it ends. It's oh, you announced spinoff, so now this person's not dying.
You're finding out who's living. You're finding out who's dying. It's the same thing with like Avengers Infinity War, right?
People called it with Eddie Munson. Sorry to all the people who haven't seen Stranger Things 4. It's been out for like 2 years or so. I don't know.
But like Walking Dead was really bad with it too, because like didn't they at one point like they horribly screwed up and spoiled Emily? It spoiled Beth's death in like a really bad way. So like, and I think they did the same thing with Merle as well. So like. It was.
To be fair, I missed the spoiler on Beth's death, so I was still pretty surprised when it happened.
So did I, and then I was told by someone who watched it.
AMC
no,
put up.
Damn you, AMC! Damn you to hell!
Right after it happened on the East Coast, they posted an image, a memorial image for her, and everybody on the West Coast was like, "You bastards! We didn't see it yet." It's like, oh boy. But no, like, so in this instance, if they start making cast announcements, it'd be like Jeffrey D. Morgan. Jeffrey D. Morgan came out and spoke out against them announcing the sideshow. It's like, wow, you just ruined it for half of the audience that may have thought I was getting unalived in the show and I would have what was coming to me. But the same thing would happen here, or the same thing that's happening with Stranger Things, where they announced a spinoff with the older sister. I was like, oh, I guess she's not dying. And then somebody else has recently come out and said, hey, there should be a Robin and Steve spinoff or something like that, or a Robin and whatever the other kid's name is. Like, oh, they're not dying. What are we doing here? Stop talking. Stop talking about what you want to see in spinoffs. Let the show play out, then announce everything afterwards.
Kind of confirms the theory that Jonathan's dying, doesn't though.
I don't pay attention to media on the news of these things anymore. Unfortunately, I just keep getting spoiled for shit that I think is like genuinely cool. Like I got spoiled for season 5. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody here because it was shitty that I got it. But I try my absolute hardest to stay away from news articles, from like, whatever the fuck, but it finds its way. It finds its way to me no matter what. So, that's why like a lot of the time, like we have our little pre-talk before we come on here and talk about our topics and whatnot. I'll be like, I haven't heard anything about it. Tell me now. Because I can't, or else I'll get spoiled on everything that I like want to be a part of.
It sucks. Like sometimes you just go on social media and then it's like, oh hey, look at this thing that you like. Here's everything about it. It's like, you motherfucker.
I remember when I got spoiled for Superman, that a version that it was going to be Ultraman was a clone of. I had it spoiled like a month before that movie even fucking came out. And
yeah, well that's
I was like, what the fuck?
Part of the reason why I wanted like just kind of like get rid of social media. Like,
that's a thing like with these like even like now I wouldn't say us to a degree. We just kind of talk about what we see, but like whenever it comes to these big things that people really just want to have that experience of seeing it like in the theater, whenever it comes out, whatever the fuck, it's so hard to stay away from people that just like ruin it.
And that's one of the reasons why I don't do the news as much before. Like, hey, sure, it's great for some fast clicks and some fast likes on them when you go into the news. But then as you're getting into certain stories and you're meeting people and talking to them about, then you start getting information that you don't want. It's like, I don't want to report on it. Now it's spoiled on me because now I'm going to lose the experience of being in the theater that we talked about at the top of the show. It's like, I wanted to have that atmosphere and that theater experience where I'm experiencing everything. It's like, oh, wow, this is fantastic. But if you're doing the news and stuff on it, then it's like, oh, damn it, now there's set pictures that I just came across, or now this is leaked out. So the theories are more fun than the news.
I think what did I watch most recently that like I was able to completely stay away from spoilers? I think it was probably Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I was able to completely stay away from spoilers for that movie. Granted,
there really isn't anything to spoil like in that movie that's big that wouldn't already be in lore from the video games.
It's not a knock you out of your socks movie, but I'm glad that nobody like told me any major plot so that I was able to be like, oh, in the theater.
I think to the point though too is like, we should not have been told about any cast member that was not in the trailer.
Yeah.
And I think that should be a thing that happens for movies. Like, other than, like, I mean, like, we can go back to Marvel again. Like for the Avengers movies, we know that bigger Avengers characters that are not a part of the Avengers are going to be in the movie. Like, we knew that Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be in the Avengers movie, even though that they weren't Avengers. So, like, those ones, yeah, they make sense. I understand those. But I think for stuff like Stu, for Roman, for Dewey, I don't think that those should have been announced. I think that should have been a secret. And then because it leaves open the idea for us to interpret, misinterpret, whatever. And I guess maybe they want that, but it would have been better to get it as a complete surprise instead of us as people who have seen the franchise and know the mistakes and the hurdles that they could just not get past. Oh, we watched it, we've studied it, we've analyzed it. So we're now concerned about what this new movie is going to hold and what the future franchise is going to hold, and it kind of stinks. And honestly, I kind of like the surprises. That's kind of why I stay away from trailers. I don't want you to tell me the whole plot of the movie in a 3-minute trailer, because then I don't want to go see the goddamn movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of trailers that are very bad.
Especially when we're like on a kick where good guys have to win in big box office movies. Like at the end of the day, I know for a fact, like I'm like 95% certain that Sydney's gonna win, and that's how this movie plays out. But on the off chance that I'm wrong, I would love that. I would love that Sydney doesn't become the victor of the situation. Because when you go into a movie always expecting the winner to win, that's just what's gonna happen. It's gonna be boring. Every single Marvel movie, like, oh well, I mean, they're gonna go through some inner turmoil. Maybe someone that they're close to is gonna die, but at the end of the day, the hero's still gonna win. The movie's gonna end, and we're gonna get to the next one. I want some depth in movies nowadays. I'm getting sick of it. Let some stakes happen.
That's why Thunderbolts did so well with the audience. It didn't do great with critics, but it did really well with the audience because it had real emotional stakes for these characters.
We've even talked about that with the comment that Lizzie said, that it would be a great public red herring. It would be so Scream to be like, oh yeah, we actually had a red herring and they're back in here. Now, granted, it would make sense that it wasn't initially, and because it really did seem like there was some financial arguments that they were having behind the scenes. But it would be cool to see that, oh yeah, we thought that there's no chance they can come back, and then they come back, because that would feel like a red herring, and I would like that.
It happened with Neve Campbell, right? Neve Campbell wanted the money that she's due for the franchise, and that's perfectly. I'm not gonna say that she doesn't deserve it. She is the Scream franchise next to Ghostface. It's her and Ghostface. That's it. And she left. People that stayed behind didn't support. Well, they honestly didn't support her because they went and did the film without her. And now she's returned, so I would imagine that bridges can be rebuilt. We could see something like that. Maybe it's low key that something has been resolved.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's not the writer, it's not the director, it's the studio that they're having issues with, and you're not like deals can be made with the studio, and then you can get along with the people that are actually on set. It's studios being studios.
Yep. I think so. So let's see what else we got in here.
Rip Beth and Merle. Or Merle?
Merle.
Yeah.
Merle?
It's Merle.
Oh, is it Merle?
Yeah, I'm falling behind on comments here, so I wanted to see what else we got going on here. So Slayer, question on this one here. Why is it not showing? There we go. So if it's no good, how come you guys are so excited for the next one? So I think we kind of answered that. Is because
that was the comment that I pointed out earlier. That was we hope it's good. That's why. That's it. That's it though.
Oh yeah, we already read that one.
Yeah.
And then 420 Slayer also says something that was in regards to me talking about spoilers, which was rather funny.
So we got this one here. So this one, Warren Gomez, what if Angelina Tyler is Christina Carpenter? So first, Warren, I get so much flack on this because of Hollywood and their whitewashing. It's like, well, she is not Spanish. So it's like I get killed on this all the time. And then I always like to point out, it's like, well, Hollywood likes to whitewash movies. So, and if you want to look at reality, there's several Latinos that are out there that don't look Latin, like Louis C.K. is one of them. There's a few other people out there too. Louis C.K. does not look like he's Mexican. I'm sorry, he does not. But this would be great. So Warren, I think it would be great if Angelina Tyler was Christina Carpenter, because it explains there being two Ghostface in Scream 3. and it pulls a lot of things back together. So it'd be nice to see that. Your
Yeah,
guys,
but you also need someone connected to Scream 1, not just Scream 3. Like, Scream 3 is not the important thing. You need someone connected to Scream 1. And
well, she would technically be connected to Scream 1.
She's only connected to Scream 1 because you have her connected to Scream 1 because of Scream 5. But you really just need someone that can actually play as someone who's connected to Scream 1. We're just trying to pull, like, her being a Ghostface, yeah, sure, fine. But pulling her in as also being Christina Carpenter is like, now you're connecting her to 2 other movies. That's much more bridge to gap. Whereas we just introduce a new character, or for instance, the person that was talked about that could be Christina Carpenter in the background of Scream 1 that you mentioned. That's fine, because that's a much easier bridge to gap. That, like, much easier to get from point A to point B. But if you have to go from point A to point B to point C, you have to do much more storytelling that gets you to where you're at. And I don't know. I think
you still need Sam and Tara.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Angelina Carpenter can still come back as a living Ghostface. I personally would think that you should go a different route for getting Christina Carpenter. Just my opinion.
Yeah, and here I'll kind of come back to the continuity problems with Scream 3 and Angelina, right? So Angelina, like, there are scenes where, like, when she's found in the bathroom, she drops the mask and stuff like that. She has the boots on, but also at the house, like when the house explodes, Tom's house, she disappears before the house explodes. Like, they're all run outside, you see them all together, and then there's a shot back to them, and it's just she's gone, right?
Well, she was supposed to be a Ghostface initially, right?
She was supposed to be a Ghostface initially, and she's not at the house before it explodes. She had already left. Right. And then when they roll down the hill and stuff like that, she comes from a completely different direction and she walks up on them and she's kind of stunned. And then she goes into acting mode with them. So I would like to see Angelina Tyler come back. But I think, again, right storytelling, it has to play out. King Matthew, if Sydney's husband is Ghostface, then that would make Sydney kind of dumb considering she's constantly getting with killers at this point.
And that's another thing. Like, how easily are you going to get like bamboozled by your husband being Ghostface? She has a panic room. Like, she is fully prepared for this stuff. Like how is he pulling the wool over her eyes so consistently for because, like, he obviously was always kind of like a psychopath at that point then, right? Like, you don't just like, I'm gonna be Ghostface. No, you are crazy. You are somewhere in your mind you are not an okay person if you're just so okay with going after your family. Like, but you got to think about it. Like, you're not okay in the head.
It's a Richie situation, or not a Richie.
But Richie, but you have to imagine, Richie was an internet troll. He wasn't normal.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but it was still one of those things that, like,
and his family was a Leatherface situation.
She got with the dude, and she obviously didn't see those signs of him being.
Yeah, but it's
one of those things where it's a stretch of the imagination. I don't want this to happen.
I know, but you also have to imagine that was Sam's first movie as a comparative to Sydney dealing with this 5 separate occasions, and this is somehow her husband's.
To be fair, I guess, yeah, 5 was the reboot technically, so it was like they were retreading the story.
But 1 through 4 still happened.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I know. It was the soft reboot. So it was the
So Lizzie has an answer to this, which I hate this idea. They may have changed their last name to Evans to be harder to locate, and it's really the same Mark Kincaid. No! I don't want Joel McHale as Mark Kincaid.
But people still are calling her in the trailer as Ghostface. She got a call, and she assumed that it was Ghostface. And then I think they're splicing a couple different calls together in this movie.
Definitely are.
Or in the trailer, I mean.
I think so, too.
But then it's playing out like it really is just playing out like Scream 3. She hides out. She changes her name. She works online instead of she works online again because she worked for a phone company. It was like a help hotline or something like that. I think she worked online and she was, I believe, getting spam calls again. So it's still once again treading the waters of Scream 3. She's hiding. She's changing her name. She's working online, or she's working at home online, and she's getting calls from creepy Ghostface people. So it kind of feels like the same thing.
All right, we got a super chat in there. So thank you, Jake at 5530. Thank you very much for that. I think Stu killed Jason and Greg in Scream 6. I'm right there with you, buddy.
Oh, what? So you think that the Ghostface in the beginning of Scream 6, the Ghostface in the beginning of Scream 6 that we're taking out?
Oh!
Greg, so Greg is the head in the refrigerator. Unrelated?
To be fair, I can kind of agree with that, only because it doesn't make sense and because 420 hasn't seen it, I won't say names. It doesn't make sense for Ghostface in the ones in the movie to be going after those two. It doesn't make too much sense.
It would make sense though if like that's a one-off and they play. I mean, granted, it's a continuity error. I mean, it's not a continuity error. You could just play into like them. It is just them for some weird, weak reason. But if you call back to it in Scream 7, it's like it's actually Stu going after the cults in this specific situation. Yeah. That would make sense. I would yeah, I could see that making a lot of sense. That actually is a really good idea.
If you DJ Combat, if you haven't watched, if you have not watched some of the recent theory videos that are on the channel, go ahead and take a look at that because I am right there with you. It makes the most sense for it to be Stu in that opening scene. His line where he says, "I don't care about the fucking movies," makes sense, right? It ties perfectly into the motive where he come back to burn it all down and take out the cult and then go after Sydney. It just all ties together very nicely. So, and then again, I'm just going to come back and say, because Kirby is helping him locate everybody, and he helped him locate Jason and Greg. And then we got what's going on in this film. So yeah, thank you very much for that. I agree. I'm on board with that. Continuity error or not, that makes sense.
Stu is taking care of those two Ghostface in wherever they're at because I don't think they describe a specific location. And then Kirby's dealing with the other Ghostface in her location. So it still works out in a sense in that idea that they're working together.
I noticed something very because you end up watching the clips over and over again when you're putting together the theory videos. In the ending of 6, when Kirby is confronted by a person who I won't name because 420 hasn't seen it yet, her personality switches again, and her personality switches several times in the movies when she's talking about Stu, where she goes, like in this, she comes out panicked. Like she finds Sam and Tara and she's panicked, right? And then she's confronted by the other Ghostface and she turns on him really quick where she's like saying, no, I think it's you, motherfucker, that's actually Ghostface. So it's like, yeah, it's the clues are there. The clues are definitely there. And it supports everything here where Stu is definitely the person behind Jason and Greg. So definitely.
She always has whenever she I think on 2 separate occasions, once in the precinct and once when they're in the final showdown area showing the TV and whatnot, she has a look when she talks about whether or not he might be dead. Like she has a look in her eyes, like she knows something. Like she knows that he's alive and she's not saying it. Like it really feels that way. And I don't know if that was intentional. I don't know if it was just if it's just us spinning that web, or if it's let's say maybe Hayden Panettiere is maybe I just want to throw that Easter egg in there, and she decided to do it as a fan or as a service to the franchise. Because I don't know, because we can all agree collectively that Scream 6 was not what we wanted it to be. Even it wasn't what we wanted it to be. But if she did that as a personal thing to be like, oh yeah, she's hinting at something, or she wants fans to think about this, I think that's fucking dope. Because then again, another potential plot hole or continuity issue in Scream 6 that could be fixed if you introduce this one very easy storyline in Scream 7. And it would be a good one. It would be a really good storyline that would work. And it would fix so much. It would fix so much, and I wouldn't be mad. I'd be like, thank you for listening to the fans for once, because it's not just us that has these issues and has these theories. It's everyone in the comments and everyone in other YouTube videos, other podcasters. If they listen to fans, I'm not going to be upset about it. Why would we be upset about such things?
Yes, we got low res Noah and Lukas.
It happens at the end of every podcast.
We'll come up to that one. Oh, okay, I see. So I think here too. So DJ comment, Stu called Mindy's girlfriend. Stu's not just with Jason and Greg. There's the whole Gale scene too that does not add up, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has alibis. Everybody has alibis for the Gale scene. Now you can go ahead and say, yeah, that one person was there, but that one person ain't lifting a dead body and tossing him through a bookcase.
Not yet. Like, no. He's over 6 foot, 200 pounds,
dude,
200 plus pounds
jacked.
of pure muscle. Yeah, like muscle weighs more than fat. Like, regardless, he's over 200 pounds. He's 6+ feet. Nobody is doing said things. I'm sorry.
That was a dense man.
He was a dense man that got thrown through a bookcase, and then you have somebody that's on the phone with Gale that knows details that no other new Ghostface would know.
Yeah, it just there's so many things. There's so many little hints that are just it's all if it all just accumulated and wrapped up in one little bow, be like, they did the thing. They did the thing for us, like that, like. It's all right there. It's all right there for them. And if they did it, bravo, fucking vote. Because I would love that. I would love that they give us what fans have been screaming at and asking for decades, instead of them trying to do something new that ends up just being a repeat of something from the franchise already. And we've all discussed, the director of this film directed Scream 3 and didn't get what he wanted. He didn't get to do what he wanted to do for Scream 3. That was a studio issue. So if he gets to do what he wants to do with this film, I have more faith than if the studios are backing this film. Like, if the studios are like pushing their narrative, I think that this film is going to 100% be shit. But if we're getting the director's story and the writers are telling that story, that's where we're getting something that I can be more confident that I'm going to sit down and enjoy in theaters. That's the big thing right there.
Yeah. SOCC 5027. We'll end with your comment or your question. I think that's a good question. We'll end with. Let's see what we got going over here. All right. I'm glad this. I've heard a couple people. My name is 420. Believe me, I'll forget what you said before I get to watch it. All right. I'm happy about that. We're still not going to mention names, but all right, let's see what else we got going on in here. It's funny, right? I know a couple people that say that. Just tell me the spoilers. I won't remember when I watch it. All right, let's see here.
That's fair.
Question: When
there's some things that I'll get told, though, I'll get told a spoiler, and I'll be like, that's fine. And then as I'm watching the movie, it'll pop in, and I'll be like, oh fuck, I already knew this was gonna happen. Son of a bitch.
It's just your brain isn't trying to piss you off.
Yeah. Wrestling God's got a question. When it reveals Stu as the mastermind behind all of these movies, do you think that for how much good is going to be great at it, do you guys think it's going to take away?
I think okay, so I read the string of comments they posted. I think what they mean is that, do you think if Stu is the mastermind behind all of the movies, like all of the movies Ghostfaces in the past and whatnot, do you think that's going to take away from how good the Ghostfaces were in those movies? Like, do you think it's going to take away from their individuality as a Ghostface?
It shouldn't, because at the end of the day, even if there's not an official cult, they're still following it in a cultish way. So if they have a leader, or if they're acting within their own free will, they're still enacting as though the Stab movies and what happened in not Springwood, that's Nightmare on Elm Street, but what happened in what happened in the events of Stu and Billy, they're all taking it in a way that is like, we're following this like a cult, kind of like how fans actually look at movies. So I wouldn't say.
I would say the only movies that it does kind of mess with is 2 for Mickey's motivations, and for what's her face.
Well, he was saying that the movies made him do it anyways.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. Like, the movies made him do it, but he's still doing it because he wants to be a renowned serial killer.
Yeah.
And then 4 with Jill's, because hers was that she wanted to be the famous survivor of the family.
Well,
other than
to kind of rebuttal that, in Scream 6, if we're assuming that Stu is the one that took out Greg and Jason, then that would mean that the cult doesn't always work together. Not everybody always works within the cult.
Like, it can still work, but it would make certain Ghostface's outliers, and it would make it really consistent. So it would make this whole cult idea a little bit rockier.
But it doesn't make it rockier. It just makes the cult within the movie rockier. But it makes the idea of the cult still existent in a way because Jill's doing it for her own purpose.
It just means like so.
And also,
because my dream, I'll tell you guys, this is my idea. This is my idea for my dream scene, and I've probably said it before on stream. Is that I want a giant scene of a whole shitload of ghost faces all in one room, like they all possibly like they could have different robes. Some of them could have the regular robes, and like I want to see a whole bunch of them. But seeing that, like we've now seen multiple occasions where there are ghost faces doing it for their own good. Even in Scream 6, to a certain degree, I'm not going to spoil it because it's not. But it's like there's personal gain rather than being a part of the cult. So if they're going to go the cult route, there's my dream scene of having all those ghost faces is a little bit less realistic because it makes more sense that all of these ghost faces are just doing it because they want to be the popular ghost face rather than working together in a cult to try and spread the myth of Ghostface or whatever the fuck.
I will say that easily tell off the story, like the idea of Mickey and Jill. Jill's doing it for personal gain. I can easily understand, especially with her relative being the center of attention behind it. She's just going psycho for likes. For Mickey, it takes place only a few years after the first one. So you could say at that point, the cult could actually have been born with the second one. So like the first one, people idolized because of the movies.
He's on the web. He's on the web. That's where he met Mrs. Loomis, on the web, where Stu would have been operating.
See,
so there is a cult type.
I think
not everyone has to follow the leader.
A part of the cult, so that's what makes me think it would either have to be Mrs. Loomis, but Mrs. Loomis was mainly doing it for revenge.
Well, but they've talked about the website throughout. It was in 2, 3, and 5 at the and 4 because you could say 4 because of the she's doing it for likes, whatever. But they've all talked about being on web forums and communicating with each other about wanting to be Ghostface. That is still a cult.
We're seeing a lot of initiates into the cult, possibly. But we haven't seen an actual member.
I think there are actual members. I think that you would have to consider Stu.
We need to see the high council.
Like if Stu is alive, Stu is a part of the cult. If they decide to go that route, Gail would be a part of it. Roman would be a part of it. Those three would be a part of the actual cult. There's definitely a web forum that is still a cult of people talking about the stab movies.
That would then bring to a wider degree, what would the Ghostface cult really even be started to spread? Is it just the myth of Ghostface, or
it's kind of like
go all the way back to Sydney's?
It's kind of like the thing that you and I
start there.
It's what that became more popular after the events of what happened with Sydney.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we have the theory that Roman is the one that recruited Stu and Billy.
Yes. Well, that's true. No, that's true.
So that's true. So then, does that mean it all goes back to Maureen? Does that mean it all?
Yes, this is all centered around Maureen. But the idea, so what happened with Scream 2 only takes place. So the first Scream movie takes place a year, technically a year anniversary after what happened to Maureen Prescott. So it's all very close in hands. And sorry, as far as the cult goes,
hairball,
the cult, the web cult, and then there would have to be two variations of it, right? Because the web cult, and then what was actually happening to take out Maureen Prescott and Sydney. There's two separate variations of it. But the online cults, it's kind of the same way that people idealized the Dahmer show, like we were talking about. Yeah. The Dahmer show came out, people are dressing up as him for Halloween, they're romanticizing him. It's the same thing. It's people taking it's like what happened with Slenderman, right? Everyone was taking with the incident that happened with Slenderman and the two.
That's an interesting book at Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, so it's like that same thing. People are taking these fictional ideas, which granted, not in this universe is it fictional, but they're idealizing it and they're turning it in. They want to make their own movie, right? So
I get that. I would have to see a larger goal for the Ghostfaces to have a cult rather than them just being an online forum of people that want to make a movie.
If Stu is leading a cult, it might be a bit harder, but if Stu is shutting the quote unquote cult down, then it makes more sense. especially if you're having Gale and Roman as a people who are also trying to tell this narrative. Like they, like Gale is doing it because she wants to be the best book salesman and whatever she's doing. She wants it for fame. Stu is doing it for whatever reason he wants to do it for, and Roman was doing it because of everything that happened with Maureen, and they all collectively decided that they work together to do what they're doing, and the cult just kind of happened along the way, like the online internet cult, like, and so they're working on taking it out. That makes more sense to me.
We got King Matthew here. What if Leslie Macher was one of the girls in Scream 2, part of the sorority group that wanted to recruit Sidney, which ends up with Sidney being attacked at the party by Ghostface? I think she would recognize Leslie Macher. At first, it's like, oh, that's a really good idea, but then it's Stu's older sister. I think she would recognize.
That's a strange. Not strange. Sorry, that was the wrong word. I apologize, King Matthew. I don't know. I can't really think.
Well, she's older than Sidney.
It just also makes sense that it was probably either Mickey or was it 2? Yeah, 2. It just makes sense that it was probably Mickey.
Yeah, and Leslie's an older sibling, so so I think she's already like in the workforce. So she's fresh. She's already out of college by Scream 1. So in Scream 2, she's well out of college. I don't think it kind of adds up. I also don't. I still don't see how it makes sense that Anna Camp isn't. I get it. Like she, whatever. They're gonna age her differently, but she doesn't look older than Matthew Lillard, regardless of how beautiful that man is. I know we voted him sexiest Ghostface, but like he looks older than Anna Camp. So I don't know. There are other people who are in this movie who are older than Matthew Lillard who could be portrayed as Leslie Macher.
That's a good point.
Well.
Aging is a good point. Very good point. Yeah. Especially since there's a time jump.
Yep. So that's another thing. Like Sidney's gonna be like 60 in this movie based on the time jump. So that would mean that Leslie Macher's like 70, mid 60s, 70. Like, how is this gonna work? Are we getting Ghostface on a walker? Like, it's
Halloween ends.
We're gonna see someone fly through a window like 17 feet into the air, and it's gonna be revealed that it's like the tiniest like lady.
Like I can't take a Ghostface seriously that has white hair. And yes, I'm taking digs at previous Ghostface. It doesn't make sense for me because you can do all the exercising in the world. You're not going to have the stamina of Chuck Norris. It's just not gonna. It's not going to play out.
A 60-year-old Ghostface getting dropped on from the balcony in the Macher house.
Yes, and yes, I know we're kind of playing the idea of Stu still being Ghostface. But we're also playing the idea that he's a cult leader or that he has some sort of respirator, in which case could enhance his breathing ability. And so that, like, maybe I'll play into that. Because let's be honest,
based underwater,
the motherfuckers in this universe are super powered. Like, they go through some shit and are okay. Like, I get it. You hear the story, like the weird stories, like people being struck by lightning 10 times and being okay in the real world. But like, those are off chances. So many. Chad is a pincushion in this franchise, and he's fine. Dewey is another one, and they're okay. Like, these people are not normal.
So doing the research, this is one of the questions I get. It's like when we talk about how somebody could survive a TV, and 1 out of 176,000 people died from having a TV drop on them in the 10-year span where 2 TVs were a big thing. One person, looking into the Chad theory and stuff like that, one person survived being stabbed 56 times. So it's possible.
Hey, 50 Cent was shot 9 times and he still lived.
Yeah.
50 Cent is a different kind of beast.
Ryan Waves.
No, I don't want to talk about that on the stream.
Ryan Waves, did you guys hear about the fact that Sam was originally planned to be the killer in Scream 7? It makes sense, Ryan. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense that you would have the whole Psycho theme in 5 and 6 play out, where she finally breaks and becomes the ultimate predator for Sidney. It's the only way that you can threaten Sidney in any of these movies is if you build up a villain to go against her, and we were doing
that's stronger than her. It's like that Will Smith movie, with the Gemini Man or whatever.
Yep.
He's going against a younger version of himself, so he's stronger, faster, whatever.
You actually. can't believe people actually remember that movie.
I didn't even watch it. I don't know why I remember the title.
I thought it was all right.
I heard it wasn't awful.
It's also you can also say it sounds like Bad Boy. It's like the Bad Boys 3 or whatever when his younger son, his son comes in or whatever. But like, so that would make sense. That would make sense because that plays into 8. Sam beats Sydney. It's Sydney's last movie, and then Tara takes out Sam in 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what you would have that continued psychosis breakdown where she flips in between Billy and herself, but eventually Billy consumes her personality. Mm-hmm. And when you have Stu return, right? I would still bring Stu back.
It's a Billy and Stu reunion.
Yep. And you get that briefly on screen when she flips personality. You see Billy there, and they're having this back and forth conversation before she flips back to Sam. It writes itself, damn it! It writes itself. It's all there.
Listen, guys, right, it's there in Times New Roman for you.
Times New Roman.
Thank you, 420 Slayer. Thank you for backing me on that comment.
Yeah,
Lucas, I saw you laughing about that before. Yep.
Yeah, no, I was giggling. I like this guy. I like you, Chad.
All right, let's see what we got here. Stu killed Dewey. Yeah, that's the running thing. Unless it was Danny. All right, let's see.
That's why he's not here on the podcast today. He's not filming Ghostface. He is Ghostface.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, Stu is like. All right, let's look at the. Stu is like 6'4", maybe 220 pounds. He definitely has the strength. Yep, exactly. And in Scream 5. There's that person that is noticeably taller than Tara in the kitchen. So that plays into there as well. Scream 3, let's see here. In Scream 3...
and at that point, that also would have had to have been Amber, technically, because you're saying that Richie left a town and his girlfriend didn't notice and his job didn't know. It's like,
There was a Ghostface outside the house and there's a Ghostface inside the house, and Richie was accounted for. There's 3 in that film. 3.
At least.
Yeah, at least. So in Scream 3, after Gail finds Roman's body when Roman faked his death, do you think Stu was the one who killed Tyson and Angelina and Jennifer and tied? Yes, I agree with that, King Matthew. Yep, that makes sense. There's no way Roman did that. And here's and to support your theory more on that is you have Tyson getting tossed off the balcony, and you have Gail and Jennifer Jolie running down the steps and then being chased back up the steps within minutes of that. So how did he teleport? He's not Jason. He ain't teleporting around that mansion.
Yeah, there can't be like again, it is a continuity because there was supposed to be 2 Ghostfaces in the movie and then there wasn't. But it like that, then you have to be open to the idea that people are going to assume that there's more people where like Dawn in the Ghostface past, especially since you have Angelina with the fucking she was caught dead to rights with the boots with the fur on her feet, and she was holding the Ghostface mask. She was caught dead to rights. She is a Ghostface, and her being taken out is just another callback to so many other times that we've had red herrings, where we've had people who were supposed to be Ghostface and then not Ghostface, and they're actually Ghostface. So it's entirely possible that Angelina's a Ghostface, and it makes sense. It makes more sense that she's a Ghostface that never got revealed than she's not a Ghostface and actually. Well, she didn't die though, because it's been confirmed that she's a survivor.
Yep,
so and she has to be. She has to be a Ghostface because how is she getting like? We saw her getting dragged away by a Ghostface, and he doesn't finish the job. Okay, but like the only time that made sense was for Chad, and we got explanation to Chad still being alive.
Chad got stabbed in the artery. Like he was bleeding out in 5 because he got stabbed in the artery.
Nobody's saying it makes sense, but Angelina is a survivor who never shows up again in another movie or even that movie.
She got stabbed in the shoulder.
Yeah, like I said, like
she gets stabbed right in the shoulder.
It doesn't make she's dead because she got a flesh. His but a flesh wound. She's a Ghostface, 100%, and she was supposed to be, so it makes sense. But like I said, so like that's hopefully the director is gonna get what he wants in this film, as opposed because I think what the director wants with Scream 7 is gonna be more along the lines of what the fans want with Scream 7 than as opposed to what Spyglass wants. Because I don't think Spyglass really gives a shit. I think Spyglass is trying to produce what they want, and they're just for quick bucks instead of actually producing what fans want to see.
Yep. Otherwise, you're paying your characters.
Or maybe, who knows? Maybe they're realizing their mistakes. That's why they hired the director from Scream 3, and they're like, "Listen, help us."
Yep.
Do I actually believe that? No. Am I hoping for that?
Yeah.
Always.
Chris Landon was getting death threats after Melissa was fired. He was getting death threats, and it's like, dude, I have
Like,
nothing
it wasn't
to do
his
with
choice.
this.
It's like, that's the studio.
Yep. All right, so let's end on this here. So, do you think other final girls would survive other horror film scenarios? Sydney versus Michael Myers, Julia James versus Ghostface, Laurie versus Ben Willis, or Laurie versus Ghostface, Sydney versus Ben, and Julia versus Michael. So we'll start with the first one: Sydney versus Michael Myers.
She has a better chance of. She's a better chance.
All right.
Sorry, go ahead.
She has a better chance of hitting a brick wall with her fist and breaking it.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Well, because most of the time, whenever she is facing a ghost face or whatever, it always comes down to where she is either super duper hurt and it is her last chance and she gets it. She like rolls a d20 and she fucking wins.
What are you talking about? She was not hurt in Scream 2. She was not hurt in Scream 3. She was not in Scream 4. Yes, she was hurt. Scream
in the
5?
first one,
no.
I don't know. She gets consistently lucky because the ghost faces fuck up. So,
right.
But the thing is that Michael Myers, though he is sometimes a bumbling idiot, he is also pretty practically immortal and can't just be shot a whole bunch and downed.
All right, let's do it this way. We'll do first films only.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, first films only. So first film Sydney versus first film Michael Myers.
Because if you throw in the remake franchise from Howling Kills and all that, then it's a bit different because he's.
I mean, I guess there's a possibility. I mean, there's always a chance.
If
I think Michael Myers has a much bigger physicality than most ghost faces, though.
One of them's a final girl, one of them's a scream queen, and there's a distinct difference between the two, and one of them is stronger than the other.
So go ahead.
So if they're crossing universes, right, and they're carrying out the franchises, Halloween becomes a much shorter franchise with Sydney in it because Sydney's not a scream queen; she's a final girl. Even when Sydney was like on the defense, she was still fighting. She wasn't such a damsel like Laurie was in the first two Halloween films. She wasn't really fighting in those movies. She was a damsel. So I would say that Sydney fares better, especially against a Halloween 1 Michael Myers, because he's just a guy in a mask. I think that Sydney fares a lot better because even in her first encounter with Ghostface, she fights Ghostface. She doesn't run from She runs from Ghostface, but she ends up ultimately trying to fight Ghostface to save herself. And she's making the smart decisions to try and make sure that she's okay. I'm not saying that Laurie was a bad scream queen or scream queen or did bad things to survive, but at the end of the day, she was more so along the lines of like what people in the Friday the 13th franchise was, a victim that made it out of Michael's reign of terror. Like that's all it was. She developed into an offensive character in much later movies in H2O. And then in Resurrection, she dies instantly, and then in the remakes, or reboots, or whatever you want to call them, with the new ones. But Sydney, throughout all of them, she went through her emotional turmoil, but she was still an offensive presence, even as a defensive protagonist. So I would say Sydney fares much better against Michael than Laurie did. So I think that Sydney does much better.
All right, I'm gonna combine your two theories on it. Michael's more formidable. Sydney is not going to back down and run and cry and scream and all that stuff. So she's gonna go at him toe to toe, and that's what gets her killed. She's gonna fight him, and he overpowers her. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but we thought we would get, but that's the thing too. Like if you go into like where Michael tried to overpower, because we're talking about the first one, right? Because if we talk about Halloween, because if we go into the remake franchise. At many occasions, should Laurie have been choked out and her neck snapped, whatever, but she got out of those situations, even fighting him head on. Whereas Michael in the first one is just a guy. So she goes against him head on. In the first one, she fares a much better chance at going against him, even unknowing who he like of like what he can do against her. Because he's just a psycho dude. Like that's the thing. Like in Halloween Kills and Ends and all that, like he feeds off of evil, I'm pretty sure, or whatever. So like it's different. And even like the later sequels in the franchise, it's different. Like he feeds off of these things and it makes him stronger, whatever. Like he's not human. But in the first movie, he's just a guy. So as him being just a guy, I think that she fares a much better chance, especially if they're both like, I think Laurie bites it. I think Laurie is I'm sorry, to go into like the Laurie. No, I think Sydney wins. I think if we're swapping and Laurie goes against Ghostface.
We ain't even there yet. You're jumping ahead. Julia James is next.
I don't know who Julia James is, so I don't give a shit.
Julia James is I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Well,
dude, I don't know. I think she'd have a much harder time with anything.
Yeah, I think so too. She's the weakest one here.
Yeah,
Laurie, can we okay. But who's Ben Willis?
Ben Willis is the fisherman in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, he's with I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he was a much weaker slasher than Ghostface.
If we're talking first movies, I mean, sure, if she survived Michael, I'm sure she could survive that.
No, Julie James from I Know What You Did Last Summer.
No. I'm skipping ahead.
Okay. All right, so everybody's thinking that Julia James is dying versus Ghostface. We're going right to Laurie versus Ben Willis.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. She survived against Michael. I guess she'll find a way. It's hers is a survival. Hers isn't a defeating.
Yeah, I think, but I'll put it this way. So I think maybe she survives against Ben Willis, but she is unalived by Ghostface.
Yeah, it's a 50. It's a toss up with Ben Willis.
Ghostface, I don't know, because because
just the thing in Halloween there wasn't much of there wasn't really a motive to why he's doing what he's doing. So her being attacked by him was just circumstantial.
You got to remember two killers in that one. That's what gets Laurie.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
But also with I Know What You Did Last Summer, there's a motive for why he's going after this group, whereas in Halloween he's just going after people. So she was attacked circumstantially, whereas in this she's being attacked.
She's being targeted.
She's being targeted. So it depends on whether or not you think she can survive a targeted attack, or if she is just someone who can survive a victim of circumstance. And I would lean more towards she can't survive a targeted attack as a first run.
Ooh, Laurie? Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. So if she's going against Ben Willis and he's targeting her intentionally, I don't think that she makes it out. I don't think that she's our final girl. She's not a final girl. She's the Scream Queen. I think that she bites dust against anyone against Michael, just solely based off the fact that he doesn't have a motive other than taking people out, and she pops up on his radar. Like that's it. And it wasn't until the end when Loomis and the other cops were already honing in on his location. She got lucky. That's the only reason she lived in Halloween.
Yeah, now that I think about it too, like if we think about these three right here, so you got Sydney, Julia James, and we got Laurie Strode. She is the weakest of the three, I think, possibly. Like maybe her and Julia James are very close. Because if I'm thinking of this Halloween 2 movie and stuff like that, it's like, yeah. And she's not as smart as the other two. Like Sydney's the smartest. Like we all talk about, Sydney's the ultimate final girl. She's at the top there when it comes to the final girls. Julia James, not close to being close to Sydney, but she's also smart because she starts to figure out things. And I Know What You Did Last Summer. So
like you can say that she's definitely characteristically a good protagonist because she made sure that the kids were the safest out of the three of them. But then you go and hide in a closet. It like that's dumb. She made a lot of bad choices. Like you think that you took out a person, you don't know if you took out this person, and then you just rest on a door frame. What are you doing? Like I don't think that she survives a targeted attack, so therefore I don't think that she survives the fishhook killer or Ghostface, unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah, I think if anybody here, I think Sydney is definitely taking out Ben Wallace easily. Julie's not surviving Michael Myers. Not at all.
No, I think Sydney is like out of the three of them. If we're gonna put them toe to toe against all of the competitors, Sydney comes out dominantly because like you could say, yeah, Michael Myers is a force. He's strong, but there's still it's still a one-on-one attack. And Sydney uses her intelligence to her advantage to take people out. She's not just gung-ho going in. Yeah, sure, she goes against Ghostface with shotguns and stuff like that, but she kind of feels like Batman in a prep time sense. Like once she realizes the target, like who she's going against, she's gonna use it against them. When she was going against Billy and Stu in Scream 1 in the final sequence, she wasn't playing it as that she can beat them based off of her size against theirs in a brute force attack. She overpowered them with intelligence. So she's definitely taking these guys all out because she's just far more intelligent than either of them. And yeah, sure, Laurie was an academic in the first one. She was portrayed as an academic, but she's book smart. She's not street smart. She's not thinking. She's not thinking.
That's a good point
ahead.
There too.
Yep. She's not thinking ahead in these situations. She was forced to think ahead in these situations because of the paranoia that was set in her head that we were shown in H2O and Resurrection. And spoiler, she dies in Resurrection in the first 10 minutes, whereas Sydney is constantly battling her inner emotions and inner trauma, but still always someone who's one step ahead of the killer. Because if you want to throw in a superhero sense too, she's kind of just a true dominant force of a superhero. You can weaken her, you can't take her out. It's also kind of like Sienna from Terrifier 3. She's a savior. She's the chosen one. She is like a definition of kind of like what you would see an unbreakable force of a hero. You can't overpower someone like Sydney, and it presents in these movies.
Yep. All right. Yeah, Sydney has the best survival IQ out of the three. We'll end on this comment right here. I mean, Sydney was almost dead in Scream 4. Had Dewey not showed up to get beaten by Jill, Sydney would have lost. I think the shock and awe of everything that unfolded definitely got Sydney by surprise.
But that once again plays into the superhero dynamic, right? Like she's getting bested by somebody who knows her on a personal and intimate level because it's her family. And she never suspected that. But so that's like how you kind of played. Like she would know in Scream 7 if her husband was doing it because she's been through that road. She's been down that route before with her niece Jill or cousin Jill. So like that's someone who's very intimate and close in her life. And she took advantage of the little tinks in that armor of the Sidney Prescott hero. And she almost got bested by it. So like that plays into, you see that stuff in comic books all the time, where sometimes like Spider-Man, he would get taken out by Kingpin if it wasn't for Prowler sometimes coming to his senses and helping. You know, there's always those instances of the superheroes getting bested, but they're getting the assist from somebody else on their team of heroes. It definitely plays out like in a comic booky sense. Like you can see that. So I see your point. And I raise you your point.
Spider-Man.
All right. So with that, we're going to call it. Next week, don't forget to stop by. Bring your drinks, alcoholic, non-alcoholic. We're going to do shots and
we came pre-prep with drinks.
Yep.
We're sponsored by Hard.
No, we're not sponsored.
Don't forget, go to our store. All Aboard the Stew Train shirt is there, so you can get a shirt of that. And we have some other shirts that are there as well. We'll see you next week. The whole crew will probably be here next week unless something pops up. Go ahead, Lucas. Looks like you were going to say something.
I just got something to say for the end card. We're good.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us. And in 2 weeks, we'll talk a little bit more Scream, and we'll revisit the Sam Carpenter topic. So we'll talk to you all soon. Have a great night.
And while you're at it, commenters, think: would Sydney survive against a predator?
Would Sydney survive against the vampires in Twilight? We'll find out when we talk about that ranking.
Would Sydney survive against Frankenstein's monster?